At all. I think that Russia should be kicked out of the G7.
This week on The View, Meghan McCain got a very basic fact wrong. Now, I'm sure that's happened many times, but this one especially stood out this week as it is just so obvious, at least to those that are political pundits and should know better. So I'm going to play this for you and then discuss why this is really, it isn't just about this one mistake, but this is a larger pattern of ignorance for Meghan McCain. But check this out.
Meghan, are you happy to see Biden going over to deal with Putin or have a conversation with him?
No, I don't think that we should be meeting with Putin at all. I think that Russia should be kicked out of the G7, especially while Alexei Navalny is still sitting in a Kremlin prison for, being just an absolute freedom fighter.
All right. So there is one major mistake in this commentary that I'll get to in a second here. But first, just to address your other point that Biden should not be meeting with Putin. In lieu of diplomacy, you are essentially escalating tensions with a superpower. What's the purpose of that? So, yes, of course, Biden should be meeting with all world leaders, regardless of what the relationship is like, because the hope is that you improve those relations. By not meeting with somebody, you're essentially being a child, and all it does is help to escalate tensions with whoever that country is, in this case, Russia. Now, let's get to the obvious, massive mistake here. Meghan McCain says that Russia should be kicked out of the G7. Russia is not in the G7. That's why it's not the G8 anymore, but the G7. Russia was kicked out in 2014. And by the way, if you're, at home watching this, you didn't know that, that's fine. You aren't a political pundit. Meghan McCain's job is to talk politics. That's her job. To not know this basic fact shows you a larger pattern of ignorance when it comes to Meghan McCain and her commentary and how much she simply does not know that she comments on. But 2014, Russia was kicked out of the G8. This was over Russia's annexation of Crimea. So, yeah, already happened. That's why it's the G7. And I saw this point on Twitter. These never get old because we all know a Meghan McCain or have met a Meghan McCain, and she shows us exactly why the ones in our lives haven't earned their places in life. Exactly. Meghan McCain will continue to try and, pretend that she earned the job that she has. That it's not because of her father, being the late John McCain. That isn't the reason she got this job. She got this job because she deserved it. She earned it. She is one of the best conservative commentators out there. But you didn't know that Russia hasn't been in the G7, was G8 since 2014. And to her credit here, Joy Behar, in reaction to Meghan McCain's commentary, corrected her.
Joy, for you, how is it looking and feeling as you watch this play out today?
Well, since I'm not an expert on Russian international information, but I do know one thing, and that is that Putin was kicked out of the G8, which is why it is now the G7. He is not in the G7 at this point. So this is outside of the G7.
That's correct. Okay. That was my mistake. Sorry, that was my mistake, right. Joy. I'm very sick. I apologize. You're right.
That's fine. I'm happy to correct you.
Yes. I was sick, so I forgot that Russia wasn't part of the G7. Last time I was sick, I thought that Alaska was actually a Canadian province. Turns out I was wrong. Once I got better, I realized, no, what am I talking about? It's an American state. So stupid. And it shows a larger pattern of ignorance for Meghan McCain. I've covered the lies she has spread about Medicare for All, the lies she has spread about comments that Ilhan Omar made, the lies that she has spread about voting rights. I mean, you can go down the list. You can look up on my channel, search for Meghan McCain's name, and there are several videos discussing the misinformation she puts out there. But it goes to show you just the sorts of privileged people that exist in media that think they are there. And I do believe that Meghan McCain believes herself that she earned the role that she is in. She thinks that she earned that job, and it's not because her father's John McCain. She believes that for sure. But you have these people go out there that are so privileged, only in their positions because of their connections that they have, either through friends or family, and simply do not know anything and spread misinformation on a daily basis and only really keep their jobs, in Meghan McCain's case, because she brings drama. And people like to watch a car wreck, unfortunately. So, but that's why I'm here. So maybe if you're a View watcher, you come across a clip like this, maybe you learn something, realize you're being fed constant misinformation. But this is just another example of how Meghan McCain gets everything wrong.